It was a region near the employment agency, the factories, and the harbor, and was filled with living quarters for laborers. Partly because of that, the area was packed with unhappy men tired of their labor and gloomy men depressed by their low wages. Those men would use their daily income to buy drinks and forget their troubles. Bars like that filled their street. Though the part about forgetting their troubles was with drink was the same, the difference between this and Primavera's downtown area was like night and day. The expressions of the men's faces were hostile, always glaring and looking for an excuse to start a fight. If your wallet wanted to go on a diet, you should probably go for a careless walk down the alleyways here. I'm surprised I ever managed to reach a bar in a shady place like this. He could see some sort of scuffle. A crowd of people seemed to be watching, but they looked strangely distant. They didn't try to stir up the fight. They didn't try to stir the fight up even more, but they didn't try to cut it in and stop it either. Good talk. There was a cold distance to them as they pretended not to be interested. It's not like I was trying to run away. I'll return the money to you no matter what. Great, then let's have it now. Yeah, fucking jerk off. We're taking it in full with interest, too. My husband got sick and he's hardly able to find work at all. I finally managed to get employed at a sewing factory. I think I'll be able to pay you back by next month, so please, please. What's with this? You think we'll let you get away with it if you just kneel on the ground? Well, now, hold up a bit. We aren't demons. If you pay off the interest, we'll let you slide for this month, okay? Yeah, but then you'll just have to fucking pay interest next week because you guys are fucking scumbags. Okay, if it's just the interest, I'm sure I can manage. Okay. What? What's wrong with you guys? What on earth are you talking about? Giggling. A young man in a strangely unique outfit drifted into view. The men's faces stiffened. Yo. That woman. She tried to run away without paying up, didn't she? And you were just still going to let her get away after kneeling once? She says she'll be able to pay back next month. If we mess her up and she's too injured to work, that won't do any. Ah! It was so fast that it looked like the knife had shot out of Miguel's palm. The thick blade was thrust right in front of the man's nose. I don't think she needs her nose to work. Do you? No. What the fuck? The tension was too much for the man, and he flopped down onto his butt. His face was covered with beads of sweat. He must have known. This man called Miguel might really have cut his nose off. Clumsy woman. Women are as stupid as they are hideous. They always forget how much they borrowed, and when they're supposed to pay, right? That's not true. I haven't forgotten for a moment. But you did try to run away, didn't you? Ah! With another lightning movement, the blade's knife was pressed up against the woman's nose. Women sure are stupid. If they don't write things down, they forget right away. Mercy, please have mercy. I'll make sure you remember it every morning when you go to wash your face. 'Cause I'll write it nice and clear on your clumsy mug. With a rapid motion, Miguel swung the knife he had pointed at the nose's woman, turning it behind him. The tip of that knife was pressed against a shrugging Leo's nose. Sorry, buddy. Fuck out of here. Let's stop that, shall we? Her face isn't a notepad. Why, hello there. Do you have some sort of problem with me? I'll write that on your face, so you'll remember when you wash it. Miguel's blade drew a silver line. It tore the air where Leo's head. No, his eye had once been. That's a sharp, youthful blade you have there. But it isn't as polished as Alfred's. He probably hadn't even imagined that the strike would be dodged. Miguel's eyes went wide for an instant. You're a bit young for that toy, kid. If you're going around swinging things around, stick with candy bars. What's with this guy? Just who is he? Now I'm starting to want to check to see what color your blood is. You're crazy, kid. I'll punish you in punish you in Mama's place. Yeah. Oh God, no. This is gonna be. Oh my God, no. Jesus Christ, no. Please stop. Slow down, please. Please. Oh my God. Oh my God. God, no, please. Yo. I'll bet you're a picky eater. That look on your face looks more like you never eaten peppers or punch before. Or punches. No, thank you, please. Oh, fuck me. Please, God, no. Oh, God. I don't care. Just fucking get to 3. Get to 3. I'm not going to be able to do much more than that. Please stop. Oh, my God. Please slow down. No, fuck. Oh, my God. Ow. I shouldn't have gotten that one. That was like a fucking millisecond. Thank you, it ended. No KO. I don't care. I lived. I don't care. And now, having had enough yet? Why don't we call it halftime? To think that anyone can give me so much trouble. Incredible. I'm shocked. I never knew there was a man like this in City 23. Okay, that's enough, Miguel. Nice fucking fur coat. And Shishigami, please let him go for that. Let him go with that for now. Kirigi. Miguel, remember I've always been talking about him. It's Shishigami. You're Shishigami. I hear he was a combat instructor during the war. He's pretty good, isn't he? Putting that aside, I see you're as skilled as ever, Shishigami. It's no joke. I was on the ropes. True. My head was a hair away from being a sliced tomato. Ha ha ha! Let me introduce you, Shishigami. This is Miguel, a survivor from my unit. He spent a bit too long on the line between life and death. Restraint is something he's forgotten. Hey, maybe fucking call off your dog and not try to kill or deface a female like that. Just because she owes some fucking money. Get the hell over yourself, buddy. Don't make that face, Shishigami is my maid. I won't forgive you if you fight with him again. Pleased to meet you. I'm Shishigami. Think we can become friends? I don't want to be dude's friends. Fuck that. Miguel, dang it. He's a lost cause that one. I should have introduced you sooner. Looks like he loves you. Seems jealous. Well, that man's like a paranoid cat. Oh well. What are you doing today? On your way to the bar? Ever since that Alfred business, I've been wanting to thank you. Have you... I'm a bit busy at the moment. Wrong person. I haven't been around the bar lately. In fact, I was only passing this way by chance. Think you could show up around this time next week? Sure. I'd be open to catch a drink with you from time to time. Sounds good. See you next week then. Sorry about all this. Later, Shishigami. It had been the first time since he had seen Kirigi comfortably wearing a suit. Kirigi got into a car that had been waiting for him and waved his hand. Leo waved back and turned away. What about the girl that was on the ground? The hell? Let's go to the chrysanthemum. I fucking pronounce that shit. Get the hell out of here. Oh, this one hell of a place you've taken me to. You thought it'd be one of the little Eka Chochen trinky places? Don't underestimate me. He hadn't dreamed of that the place Kirigi would take him drinking would be a futuristic high-class hotel in the administrative section of the city. Following the promises of the previous week, Leo and Kirigi had met up to go drinking alone together. Is it really okay to go in? Walk in proudly. We're your customers, after all. Kirigi boldly strolled across the lobby. His majestic, dignified presence was in no way inferior to the social status of this hotel. Yeah, okay. Can't read the damn English menu. So just bring out anything. Don't forget the hors d'oeuvres, mister. Here, I thought you could speak English. Fool, this Japan, right? Why should we be speaking English like good little boys and girls? After settling their order with only a gesture that betrayed no trace of hesitation, Kirigi smiled heartily. Without at least this much audacity, you probably wouldn't be able to get by in the coming era. For a hero in dark times, you'd need a bold man like this. Leo felt a charisma from Kirigi that only members of the same sex could appreciate. Sure. Thanks for your help the other day. You mean Alfred? Well, he might have owed me, but I owed him nothing. He got what he deserved. That's right. There's something I wanted to ask you about. What's that? Shishigami, you wouldn't happen to know a man named Leo, would you? He's been a topic of a lot of rumors lately. Rumor has it you went toe-to-toe with Alfred and took him down unarmed. There's only one man I can think of fits that description. Sounds like even this Alfred person has lost his edge. I'm pretty sure that this Leo person was you, Shishigami. Am I wrong? You've got the wrong man. I'm kind of a pacifist who can't stand fighting. Ha 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 ha. Well, okay, whether you're Leo or not, doesn't change the fact that you've charmed me. I'm glad you like me. Want to try kissing or something? Enough fooling around, Shishigami. I've got a natural gift. And that is the ability to judge people. And I've matched up to your expectations. I can sense a drive about you, and not the fake courage that desperate cowards have either. You're the kind of man who would, if faced with a rain of arrows, be the first to leap forward with his spear, a fearless grin on his face. That's the sort of drive I sense in you. You overestimate me. No, my judgments aren't wrong, and I also have the strength to bring them to fruition. That's enough being evasive. I'll give it to you straight. Shishigami, I want you to join me. Sorry, buddy, I'm taken. I'm about to start a certain battle. In that battle, I'll need a strong right arm I can rely on. I know who you're gonna fucking fight us, aren't you, buddy? And if you try it, you're fucking going down. No ifs, ands, or buts, dude. A battle? That's right, one last battle. To truly end the war inside all of us repatriated soldiers. Have you ever thought about what that war meant? I've been told it was about freeing Asia from the colonial rule of the West, over and over until I'm sick of it. We ordinary soldiers have no way of knowing whether that noble cause was our real goal, or whether we just wanted to snatch those colonies away from the West and take them for ourselves. Imperialist Japan, yeah, I wonder why they wanted to liberate people, right? Huh, okay. True, thinking back on it, the point of that whole war was ridiculous. However, our country made us fight, and many of us lost their lives in foreign lands whose names we can't even remember. All of us had a life once, we had jobs once, we had families once. We all had those thrown away, and we were forced to fight. Even so, if they had been able to accomplish something and end the war, they might have been satisfied with that. Why? They didn't gain anything out of it. Only the fucking nation, as in like the people ruling it, would have gained something from it. The people wouldn't have gotten shit. However, because of the great disaster, the war ended before anyone knew what was going on. Don't worry, you guys were going to get bodied anyways. Without knowing what they were fighting for or why they were out there, they were forced to return to their unrecognizable homeland. There was no point. None at all. There's no point to that whole war. Everything happened on the shogi chessboard for those higher up. There was no point to the lives, deaths of us common soldiers. That's right, we couldn't accomplish anything. They had just encouraged youngsters with an impossible promise and then betrayed them. Very well then. Let's pretend that whole war never happened. In that case, we should have the right to take back the life we lost thanks to the war. To take back our lives. It was in the new constitution, wasn't it? All citizens had the right to continue their healthy and cultural lifestyles. Well, what about us now? There's not many people like you and me who even can manage to find food. Most of the repatriated soldiers had trouble finding work as day laborers, much less finding stable jobs. No, the soldiers who made it back to their country in one piece were the lucky ones. Those who'd lost arms and legs in the war weren't able to work at all. I decided to take a stand and build a city that repatriated soldiers can live in. What are you gonna do? Money. Money and jobs. That's what we're going to control. Didn't you know most of the jobs in City 23 are now under the thumb of foreign managers? Foreign businessmen with ties to the occupying forces repeatedly pass on jobs and collect massive profits. Let's take a second to define the phrase passing on jobs. For example, imagine that the occupying forces order a construction project with a budget of $1 million. In that case, let's say that all of that $1 million should reach the laborers involved in the construction. However, business managers with connections to the occupying forces will take the money, pinch $500,000 of it, and resell all of the construction work to lower-level businessmen who don't have the connections to the occupying forces. That's what passing on jobs means. Those lower-level businessmen would take another $250 for themselves, then pass on the remainder to the bosses who manage the Japanese day laborers. And so that $1 million that should have gone to pay for the construction is halved twice before it gets anywhere. It's from this massively reduced $250 that the laborers receive their pay. So to put it simply, 75% of the money is swindled away before the laborers receive their wages. In other words, it's like a Nagashi somen. Sure, the noodles flow down the bamboo flume, and the people upstream end up eating most of them. The Japanese people waiting at the end of the line only get to the 1 or 2 noodles that are left. Exactly. Middleman exploitation is the cause behind all those low wages. It's those managers who can get all the contracts with occupying forces. If we can knock them down, there'll be better wages and more jobs. Sure. That way, the repatriated soldiers will be able to find decent jobs at decent wages and live a decent lifestyle. Actually, the stronger thing would be to leverage your labor. Because if you know people aren't going to do this labor, that's why like fucking unions, right? You organize your labor and you refuse to work for X amount of wages. I know fucking, at this point it's like scab labor, obviously, that are going to fucking bust a union. But if like everyone could like agree to it, that's how you raise a wage here. Because it needs to be built. Those people aren't going to be building it. There aren't enough soldiers or people that want to do like manual construction labor. You can drive the price up a little bit and then collect your wages. You just have to have someone who speaks English to be the head of that union. But you know, that's doing it without being stupid. Then when we've regained our normal lifestyles, we'll finally be able to forget about that meaningless war. Doing whatever he wants to do isn't going to work. It's a bad idea. Is that the way you found the ending of your war? That's right, I'll end their war for them. And once I've done that, my war will finally end. But how are you going to fight? Your opponents are the foreign businessmen with connections to the occupying forces. Are you saying you'll kick them out and take their connections to the occupying forces as your own? It was hard to imagine Kiriju, who couldn't even speak English, chasing out the people who already had connections and taking those for himself. Furthermore, as far as the occupying forces were concerned, Kiriju was a foreigner, and also a member of an occupied people. Also, a form of, like, actual rebel and, like, resistance fighter. If he, like, ousted people, like a literal revolutionary. I don't think they'll want to work with that person. It was extremely hard to imagine they'd offer Kiriju new connections after he kicked out the businessmen who were, to the occupying forces, fellow countrymen. There's a way to do it. We can't keep sucking up to the corporate merchants out of some historical drama. We need to do something that can make deals with the occupying forces on an even footing. And this battle is to become that thing. Can you do it? Of course. That's why I want you to join me. So you want me to do it? You're also suffering because your war hasn't ended yet, right? I can tell. So I want you to join me, Shishigami. I'll end your war for you. For a while, Leo just watched his cigarette turn to ash in the ashtray. Then he gulped down the rest of his drink and rose from his seat. Shishigami, my war is a bit different. Sorry, but you can't end my war. I see. Your motives are admirable. I can see why so many people adore you. I'm sorry, I already have a boss. Who is it? Whose group are you with? To say it in an old-fashioned way, I owe them the favor of a night and a meal, and I still haven't paid them back. I know you're not a man to be swayed by money. That's why I revealed my thoughts to you. Just once, could you try putting your boss and me on a scale and see whose goals are the more noble? Rose is better than you. Yeah. You fucking gainfully employ that dude who is going to deface some chick just because she owed you fucking money? Like, you talk about all this noble Japanese goals, blah, 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 but you're just going to be a fucking thug. Really? It was no like, hey, dude, don't do that. We don't run that kind of business. Nah. It was just, stop fighting with my buddy over here. Come on now. Get out of here with that. Our boss's goal isn't inferior to yours. I'm glad you spoke with me. I'll turn down your offer. But we'll still be war buddies. I pray that your war ends well. After offering thanks for the meal and setting down several $100 bills, Leo left. For a while, Karichi lazily gazed at the smoke from Leo's crushed cigarette. I'm not giving up, Shishigami. I need you. Dude, let it go. Get the hell out of here, dude. So this bag's filled with your earnings. It's pretty heavy. Mind if I borrow it for a bit? Use as a pickling stone? That's the manifestation of the girl's sweat and tears. Please treat it with care. I really hope it's not tears in there. Still, are you sure about this? Just the two of us to transport all this money. Rose and I secretly transport our earnings on random days. I see, so it's safer to carry it in secret without standing out. In this day and age, I dare you to write money transporter vehicle on the side of your car. I mean, people do. You'd probably need MacArthur class protection. You do. Exactly, so it's safer to transport it secretly. The car went straight towards Richard's office. There, the money would be kept for safekeeping. Get divided into the good and bad money by Richard, and then go off to the bank and be used for bribes and so on. Fucking bad money. How is any money bad? If you join forces with Richard, you probably could pocket a ton of dough. That sounds like an exciting dream. But please stop. If I did something like that, our auditor Amanda would see through it at once, and I'd be blowing bubbles in the Arakawa or Edo River tomorrow. Oh, she's the auditor. Interesting. Sounds like a single night of dreams would cost you a lot. Amanda might give off an aura like a quiet, reserved madam, but don't underestimate her. She's personally employing several bodyguards, and the rumor says she's got assassins too. Do you want to hear what happened to the girls at her club who tried to take some money and run? Know about the thirsty duck torture? I'm a thirsty duck. Stop, please. I won't be able to go to the bathroom at night. If you aren't at least that strict, you'll never be able to lead that many women. I've heard you lead quite a few girls yourself. Yes, and I've sometimes been forced to yell or take action. Of course, nothing compared to Amanda. The things I did were nothing. Nothing at all. Ooh, scary. Well, in other words, no matter where you are, you're done for once people stop taking you seriously. Ugh. What's that? The door to Richard's office was flung open and a man rolled out. Enough saying the same thing over and over. Richard told you to go home. Answer's the same, no matter how many times you beg. Can't make an exception. Richard! From behind Cyrus, Richard appeared with a cold expression. His icy eyes didn't show a fragment of mercy. However, in front of those eyes was a carefully hidden cheat sheet of threats. I've not a single dollar to lend to the likes of you. If it's financing you need, start by paying off all your loans so far. But like I said, that's impossible if I can't borrow money. According to the contract, we'll take the house and store you put up as collateral. These are dark times, but a single man should be able to eat enough to get by. Then where am I supposed to sleep starting tomorrow? This is the life you've chosen. Well, then I don't believe we'll meet again. Even Richard sometimes makes mistakes when choosing the people he lent money to. This man had embezzled money from his shop, then tried to cover himself by gambling. He hid this fact and then came crying to Richard. Of course, the money Richard lent him also vanished at the gambling spots. Richard found out all about it. There was no longer any room for excuses. It was hardly uncommon to get customers without nearly enough backbone to work hard and pay off back their debts. Please wait, Richard! When the man grabbed Richard's arm, Richard used his chilly hand to roughly brush off the other man's and grab him back. I see your fingers are very clean compared to the rest of you. Thank you. Cyrus, remove this man's fingers. Fingers? Fingers. Ah, so close. He tripped up right in the middle of his best threat. Sure thing, boss. And all his toes too, if you please. That should help calm my anger at his failure to pay up. You must be joking. I run a business that depends on trust. If I let a man who didn't pay get away with all of his limbs fully intact, it would interfere with my business. His threat was delivered with an extraordinarily cold look in his eyes, but Cyrus was still desperately trying not to laugh. You got nothing to worry about. Half a day before we cut him, we'll wind some string around each. That'll stop the blood from getting to your fingers, and they'll all go numb. It's supposed to hurt a lot less that way too, you see? Help me! Haha, so long, sucker. Cyrus is getting away. You don't want fingers off a dirty old man, do you? I believe I ordered you to remove his fingers. After making a cold glance at the escaping man's back, Richard turned back. However, no matter how ruthless he tried to act, his old friend Cyrus could see right through him. Haha, he's embarrassed. And you were so close to perfect, too. My brother hasn't changed at all, has he? Oh, you're with Leo today. Here's the money from the club. Got it. I'll take care of this. Come on in. I'll make some tea. I'd like some. The tea you make is delicious.